I saw the demo was available, and I was like, let me play it. Let me see how the hype is, if there was hype at all. 4, Lost Soul Aside.
Ooh.
The solo dev turned to small team over like 12 years or something in the making.
If I'm not mistaken, he was the one that got the inspiration from like Devil May Cry and things like that. It's like it is a beat 'em up game, right?
It's a character action game. Yeah.
It looks pretty cool.
It throws you in randomly. I don't think it's the beginning of the game because it's just, unless that's how it starts, where like you're just in the middle of something and you get lore here and there. What's his name? Noctis? Looks like an older Noctis that like bought some shirts from Hot Topic and wearing a trench coat, walking around, and he has like a symbiote almost that's floating around him that transforms into his sword when he does combat, and it talks to you. And I'm like, the way he talks to you and like the way it's arching and looking at you, I'm like, oh, this reminds me of Venom in the movies. Yeah, it's whelming to say the least. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Like the action is very influenced by Devil May Cry. It's very stylized and cool, but I don't know. Like the hits, you don't really feel them at all. Like you're just kind of just hitting the buttons, dodging, blocking, and it's just like flashy, but with no substance. Once I was getting to the groove of how to use certain things, I was like, okay, like I could see some fun here, and everything was locked, so there's like no like they're just basic combos and stuff. So I'm sure further in the game you can unlock like new moves and all that. Funny enough, you get your own devil trigger.
IGN gave it a 5, if that means anything.
From what I played, I will agree. So there's like 2 boss fights. It's like 2.5, I'll say. Before you go to the first one, it's a cutscene of your character just jumping around and flying all over the place to get to the top. And I'm sure, this guy thought it was so cool when he like wrote off the storyboards and make it like, yeah, it's gonna be this, and kind of flashy. And then I saw it happen. And you know what my first thought was, Gerry? Man, I would rather watch Dead Fantasy right now. Like, this is just...
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, Dead Fantasy.
Damn, that's a throwback, dude.
Shoot.
Like, the way, like, the camera angles and stuff, like, that they were trying to do in this cutscene, I was like, this reminds me of that. Like, just awful.
The combat looks pretty okay. It's very combo heavy. Just everything else feels like a slog. Like, the platforming and the puzzle solving.
The combos are pretty basic. You have your light and heavy attacks. You could end combos with a heavy, this, and that. You'll have some text on the right side that tells you like what combo you just did. And then at the end of a combo, you'll flash blue. And then if you hit R2, you'll do an extra attack based off whatever combo you did. But the combo is going to last so long. And then by the time you can hit that thing to do the extra hit, the enemy's already going to attack you most of the time, especially if it's a boss. So it's like it's good if you could catch it in the moment, but I'm like, it's just whatever. The cool thing with the weapons is, so you get 2 swords, you get a regular and a heavy. They don't explain it in the tutorial either, which I thought was weird, but yeah, you click R1 to switch weapons, and you can switch weapons mid-combat. From what it looks like, eventually, it'll be a wheel of weapons, and when you hold R1, you almost pause time so that way you can have time to pick your weapon and figure out how to do like a different ender with it. So like that's kind of cool. Yeah, the boss fights, like the human boss fights, because they have a similar kind of weapon, and it just like it feels like just over the top high fantasy shit. Where like the guy's using like these gold blades and like they're spinning and flying all over the place and stuff, and it becomes like this big AoE thing that you just have to run away from and then run all the way back. It's whatever. And also with the bosses specifically, there's the stamina bar that you have to knock out first to do real damage. So most of the damage you're doing is not really hitting it. The whole point is that you just keep grinding until you break their stamina. You hit the square and X to do like a quote-unquote finisher, which is just like this super long combo. Pop your DT and then just try to attack before his stamina refills again. And
rinse and repeat.
It's like Returnal with how the health bar is. Like it's a whole health bar and then a blip at the top goes when you deplete it and then another health bar. So it was like 4 waves of that with this boss, and I'm just sitting here like, this isn't fun, dude, because he's just repeating the same attacks. It's just whatever. I mean, like the one thing that like really helped with the fight was like they have perfect dodge and they have parries. And so, like, when you hit it, because, like, time kind of slows down a little bit, and then you could do a little counter. But, Yeah, it was just tedious and almost boring for those fights. So, not to be offensive or anything, but the character models look very much like a Korean gacha game that got ported to like the PS4.
I can see that. I don't know how the story is, but from the review video, it seemed kind of one note. But again, it's the review video, so they're gonna make it seem as bland as possible.
Yeah, and like there were still some bugs and stuff, and like I get it, it's like it's AAA pricing, but it's basically like an indie AA like team. It was just funny because like okay, obviously this cutscene of the main character walking off the boat, running in engine, and then when he turns around and like the little dialogue option, like his body slowly like floats up, and it's like oh he was clipping in the ground, like that's pretty funny.
It just slowly rises back into place or just out of place.
Maybe like half an inch he floats up, but it's like it's noticeable. And I was like, what was that? Oh man. And
So funny.
There was like some of the demon enemies you fight. There were some that would like, they go underground, but like the cutscene that shows them going underground, it's like, they're not digging. They're just literally sliding into the, into the ground, just clipping through it. But yeah, I don't know. Like I'd rather wait like for some major updates, see if they could fix a lot of some stuff. If I even want to pick it up, I don't know. Like it looks cool, but from the demo impressions, I'm okay.
Can't win them all.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just another one of those cases where obviously something was just really overhyped in production and in progress, and then when it finally gets here, it's just like, I don't want to say it's a turd, but
PS1 turd,
Yeah.
from what the comments say.
Now, you know, I'm watching this combo video on Twitter right now where this guy's using like all the weapons you can get, and yeah, it's like peak Devil May Cry crazy ass combo. And I'm like, that looks really cool, but like, yeah, I don't know if I really want to buy the game to eventually get to this part.
You said it was developed by one guy, and then
So it started, yeah, like a fan project, like, well, I guess not fan project, but like, yeah, like a solo dev. Like he showed off like very basic combos, and like he was just working on it for a long time. And then at some point, he started getting a team. Yeah, he revealed his stuff he started by himself in 2014. And then he showed off a video in 2016 that blew up. And then I guess Sony reached out to him. Oh, yeah, and yeah, helped him work on the project and with like funding and stuff. And then he formed his own game studio. Yeah, up to 40 people by the end of it.
would you say it was the game studio and not the primary developer? Because like in the beginning, I'm sure this was like a passion project for him, and then as soon as more people got their creative hands on it, it probably went a different route than what he wanted.
Yeah, I don't know. I never really like paid close attention to it. I just remember seeing like the video when it dropped. I'm sure like his vision for the combat was there. Narrative, yeah, who knows? Maybe like, yeah, some decisions and all that. But once money gets involved and it's like not your money, it's someone else's money. And they're like, hey,
yeah.
you know, this game has to come out, dude. Like we just got to push it out. You know, that's not always the best case, unfortunately.
Yeah, because I'm watching the trailer video when it came out in 2016, and it looks like it could have been a lot better. Maybe some decisions were made, I don't know, to expedite the process or something like that. Like platforming is always gonna be either a hit or miss, and puzzles too. Like you said, some decisions that weren't his money had to be made at that point to make it, I don't know, to bloat the game, I would say.
yeah, to fill it out basically.
Yeah.
I didn't do it in the demo, but there was a boss challenge, and I'm assuming that's just, you know, boss rush or something. And that's what like these kind of games are really meant for, is to master every single weapon and combo and try to do the longest, flashiest combo you want, because that's fun. You know, so that's still in there, which is cool, but yeah, it needs some more tweaking. I don't know. I would say give it a try, but it was a 38 gig demo.
Oof.
I'm looking at the recent comments for that video, and everybody's just crying, and everybody's thanking Sony for the bullshit. So maybe sometimes getting more money doesn't, and the studio you want, or I don't even know if what he wanted, if he chose anybody who would work in the studio. But sometimes that like you lose the path, you lose the way.
You get tunnel vision.
You know, if it gets so diluted that your sauce turns into juice.
There you go. Mm-hmm.
The prophet speaks,
And
bro.
the juice expires.
So I went ahead and I bought Borderlands 4.
Nice.
As of this recording, I think I've put in about maybe like, I don't know, between 20 to 30 hours into it. And it's nice, man. I gotta say, I mean, I was very, very reluctant after the last installment. I was actually vehemently against it. I was very much, about to wait until probably the end of this game's life cycle with all the DLCs and all that stuff before I got into it. But like upon getting closer to the date, like pretty much the day before or so, one of our good mutual friends, he pretty much convinced me to pick it up. And yeah, I gotta say, I'm very impressed with it overall. I think that they've made a lot of improvements to this game. More importantly, I think like it's a little bit of the opposite of what Lost Soulside has. Like this game has a lot of substance. It is an open world game, so that's something new to like the Borderlands series, because usually you're in a sandbox and the sandbox is like, locked behind certain things that you have to do. The story will be linear. Most open world games now, like now you have the option of expanding the story how you see fit just by going to whatever region you want to go to. So that's pretty cool. Overall, I think the characters this time around are a lot better too. They're a lot more fun to play with too. They're not that bad. And the game is a lot more, I want to say that there's more like leisure for you to be able to go at a slower pace. Not that I don't think Borderlands had ever tried to rush me into like completing the game in like within a certain time frame or anything like that, but I know that like I would say like not everyone has the same learning curve when it comes to Borderlands because of just how much stuff is in the game and how much stuff you have to kind of like learn about in regards to like all the weapons and the loot, how all the skills work, all of your statuses and all that other stuff. Plus, not to mention that with every new game, they always bring in new stuff. They added a difficulty. Well, the game has had difficulties before, but like off rip, they've made it so like it doesn't matter, which I think was a thing before. You can play the game from easy, standard, or hard. And then the only difference, because the difficulty aren't tied to trophies or anything like that, so you can play on any difficulty you want. The increased difficulty is just going to give you like better rewards. So playing on hard mode, it gives you better loot. I'm like partway into, I want to say halfway through. The map is really huge. Like there's just so much to cover. A good amount of my time, between the 20 to 30 hours I mentioned, it was just alone in the first part of the game. Like I just barely got to the next area, and even then I haven't covered the entire area, so I know that there's still at least another maybe 10 to 15 hours I got just trying to grind through all of this and get to where I need to go to get to the end of this area before moving on. Yeah, aside from that, again, like the story just has a lot of good substance. Like so far I'm really intrigued in what's happening. They don't really try to bring a lot of callbacks to like the previous Borderlands or anything like that, which is good. Going into the fourth installment of a game, like we don't really need to have too many tiebacks because that would require people to play the other games to understand it. And if it's at this point, we're 25. I think Borderlands came out, the first Borderlands probably came out in like 2014. 2009. So we're about to come up on its anniversary.
Yeah, I was gonna say like it was on PS3.
Yeah, buddy, this game is super old. So like at this point, like in continuity with what's going on, between number 1 to 3, this game does a really good job of just kind of having like, we're just talking about something new right now. Like there are little bits and pieces of what's happening between 3 and 4, but again, it's not really like pertinent. Doesn't really matter. All you need to worry about is what's happening now on this new planet that you're on, right? And all the stuff that's going on here on this planet.
So we're not on Pandora?
No, you're not on Pandora. The game from here is just basically going into the vaults. There are these like interdimensional alien vaults. Your character, the Vault Hunter, is any one of 4 characters that they have available for the installment that you're playing. The goal is, in this installment, for you to obviously raid the vault that was just discovered on this planet. This planet is ruled by we're going to call him a tyrant. The spin on it is he already got to the vault first. So he's basically sitting on it and you're trying to take it from him. His vault somehow gives him the ability to be immortal. So within the confines of the vault, which he never leaves, which is like in the middle of the planet, essentially he's just watching over everything that you're doing on the rest of the planet and just sending people after you, trying to kill you. He also wants to control you. Everyone on the planet has this, I think this is really cool. It reminds me of Dead Space, but essentially they have like these little implants, these cybernetic implants, and they attach to the column of your spine. So they like get implanted on the back of your neck and it like adheres itself to your spine or whatever. and essentially he can control you from there. And they put this into you in the beginning of the game because you were captured during the opening cutscene. They attempt to turn you into like a puppet or whatever, but through, I would say, the powers beyond means, you get to be released from that without spoiling too much. The only thing that bothers me is that it does have a lot of bugs.
Oh, really? Even on console?
Yeah, even on console. I would say that I don't really want to say it's to be expected because, I don't want to put AAA studios on a pedestal, but I just believe certain bugs, like game-breaking bugs, should have been thoroughly tested and like solved out before you even get to like initial release. I don't want to give anybody slack by saying it's to be expected. I just think that those kind of things should not have been in the game when release came out. They should have been fixed. There was a point the other night, I was fighting this boss. The boss like burrows underground. There was a point where I was finally getting the upper hand on this boss because it was actually giving me some trouble and it was beating the fuck out of me. So when I finally turned the tables and I get far enough on the attempt that I was actually about to beat it at, it was like, I don't know, like maybe 1/8 of its health bar left. One more time it popped out of the ground, I can just do my damage phase and I can just kill it, right? It glitched and it just never popped back out of the ground. Like I could hear the music in the background just still telling me that I was in this fight. I could still see the health bar, but as far as the actual boss being there, he was gone. I moved all around the map. I was like touching walls and jumping and all sorts of shit, and it just would not react. On like 2 occasions, I got the damn thing to growl at me, but not to just like pop out of the ground. I gave it about maybe like 5 to 10 minutes before I actually just quit into the menu and then loaded back up again. I was so frustrated, dude, because I was like, damn, that was like my one good attempt, and I got fucked.
How would you say the dialogue compared to everything else's, every other Borderlands, namely like the pre-sequel and 3?
I actually liked the pre-sequel. The pre-sequel had a lot of good dialogue, a lot of good jokes, a lot of good lore, especially. That's my favorite part about Borderlands is lore, honestly. But I would say this game has some good lore, some good elements, some good banter, depending on what character. I've only played one character so far, and my character, he's just like that. I want to say like that general cheesy mercenary, who thinks he's like really cool and funny, like that kind of characteristic and that kind of personality, and just add on the fact that he's Latino, and that's like, there you go, there's my character. He likes to talk about he's a cyborg sometimes and make like puns on Theodore and Theodore.
Latinos are universal and galactic.
That's right.
Even in fantasy too. Come on.
Mm-hmm. That's right, Gancho.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ultimately, I would definitely end up recommending this game to others, even if I haven't finished it yet. Like I said, I've gotten a little bit over 30% of the game because it gives you a progress bar when you load back in. Again, that 30% alone is like 30 hours of the game that I've spent so far. So I'm not just like trying to run through it either. Like, taking some time and going through the game and just enjoying the content. The one thing that I'm trying to do differently, since, a lot of open world games have been released from other games that we've tried, is I'm not trying to go through and do all of the side quests like as I progress through the land. That would just give me some incredible burnout, and I just kind of want to enjoy the game for right now. So whether I miss out on stuff or not, like collectibles for me, especially in an open world concept game, is not that big of a deal. I always imagine that if they really wanted to, they give you the opportunity to go back anyway. Other than that, it's pretty cool, man. I'll tell you one thing. I have one more gripe. We're not entirely shy to the concept of looting games, right? Or of games where you acquire loot, right? Whether it's this game or Destiny, like things like Diablo,
yep.
Path of Exile. I just think that for the 4th installment of this game, we could have had a lot more like utility and more like accessibility to the way that we're doing the looting. Like, it's very monotonous still to go around and look at all this loot when like the enemy explodes and shoots loot everywhere.
Yeah.
You have to go all over the fucking ground. I was playing with our good friend, again, a very avid fan of this game and other looter shooters. That's pretty much like the only games that he likes to play. And when we play these games, he's very like, consistent on wanting to improve his build. Pretty much the entire purpose of the game. Because when we do boss fights, he melts the fuck out of everybody. It's real easy whenever I play with this guy. But aside from that, I just I just hate how long we're spending like every time that we're trying to do runs, right? Because they made one improvement that they did is they made it so that you can just farm bosses very quickly. When you enter a boss arena and as soon as you kill the boss, the gate opens so that you can continue on. There's a little purple portal, like a little orb, that you can use your grapple mechanic onto, and it'll take you back to the start of the arena right before you got into it. And then they have a little vending machine that you can purchase a boss fight from. So you can initially just go back. Yeah, it's really fucking cool, dude. It's just so easy. You don't have to quit the game anymore and go back and go through the whole level again. Like
replay boss fights. That's nice.
Yeah, so they're just so cool. A lot of the time, like when I'm just trying to like get a good build going, I'll try to farm different bosses to see what kind of like legendaries or exotics if we're using Destiny comparisons. My main gripe with this is that, again, for the fourth installment, we don't have like the ability to have any accessibility options for loot picking. My example of this would be like for Neo. Like Neo does a really good job of giving us these options, or at least for Neo 2. You could just sort out all of your loot by rarity. So if it was like common loot or uncommon loot, you could just not pick those up, right? And you could set up your accessibility options so you can auto pick stuff up. You just go around it and it just picks stuff up for you automatically as long as you have space on you. These two things would have been perfect. Honestly, the only thing that you need. I don't want to just go around, like, again, farming these bosses or playing with other people and trying to do all the shit just to spend like 5 to 10 minutes after looking through all this loot that got splattered everywhere, when in those 10 minutes we could have like done a couple more boss fights. I don't know if that's something that they can include as an update, but I really hope that they could. I mean, I would love to get my feedback on that and just be like, you could have just made the loot. Just the grabbing, just these two things is what all we need for this game, and that would make it perfect. In the old games, they had like a take all button, so like you press square now, well, you press square every time if you want to grab something. But I think it was in Borderlands 2, in Borderlands 3, if you hold square around like a group of stuff, you'll just grab everything all at once. But you can't do that in this, because if you hold square, you equip your item. Yeah, man, that was pretty much my only gripe about those things so far. Just a couple bugs, and making the loot grabbing would be better. But the game is fun. All of like the action skills that I have are pretty cool.
That's cool. I don't know, man. The more I look at gameplay and the more I see you guys talk about it, the more I want to get back in there. Especially like 3 and except for you, but pre-sequel everybody kind of like looked down on. But since this one is like a completely new characters, new planet, no Handsome Jack, am I right?
As far as I've seen so far, Handsome Jack has not been mentioned even one time, which is by far a good thing, honestly.
Yeah, I might look into it.
The only thing that I can imagine, which probably will happen but won't happen until maybe DLC time.
Tiny Tina. Fucking God help you if you say Tiny Tina.
No, I was actually going to say, if you've ever seen or played Tales from the Borderlands.
So if I were to pick this up and we play that, you would have to tell me what's what then, because I probably wouldn't know. The last one I played was Borderlands 2.
If you pick up 4, you really don't have to have me hold your hand for anything. Because the only thing that they're going to talk about that comes from 3 is the moon.
Oh.
The moon that crashed into the planet that you're on now.
Okay.
That was a result of the final confrontation from Borderlands 3. So just the only thing that you need to know is whenever they mention the flame in the sky, when you see the cutscene, they're talking about Lilith. Lilith is like dead, maybe. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Did you watch the movie?
No, I did not.
Betty.
Did you watch it, Gerry?
Yeah, I watched it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
was it good?
No. But that's because like, I already have an inkling of what the story was supposed to be about, but as its own movie, it was all right. That kind of dialogue actually, believe it or not, fit well with the movie media. Kevin Hart as Roland was actually not bad, and Lilith, seemingly older as she is, I liked her character a lot, if I remember correctly. She was just a mercenary for hire, and she would just like I don't know. She was like a big time gunslinger, so I thought that was cool. You know, a bunch of the stuff in there had the Borderlands skin, but not really like the story. You know, can't remember if Handsome Jack was in it. I think he was. No, actually, he's not. Yeah, he wasn't in there. So that storyline was null. It was its own storyline, and as its own storyline, as its own movie, it was all right. Bobby Lee was in it for like half a second, which was pretty cool.
That's right.
And then you here and there, you see some stuff where it's like, oh man, I remember that from the game. But all in all, you know, I didn't pay for it, so I was fine with it. Would I watch it again? Probably. You know, if I pick up Borderlands 4, I'd probably watch it again. You know, it's not like the Resident Evil slop me and Danny saw.
That's what I was going to ask you. Yep.
Yeah, it's actually feels a little bit more polished than that. But a lot of the times I caught myself saying like, "What the fuck?" was because you know I played Borderlands and I knew like that wasn't how it's supposed to go. But you know, Hollywood gets their hands on another IP, and we're out here with the Borderlands rehash. So it was a fun time. I'm not gonna say I wasn't high because I probably was, but it was all right.
Well, shit, man. I hope that you know, in time that you do pick up Borderlands, this is by far, I think, the best installment of Borderlands. I will compare that to Borderlands 2, and let me tell you, buddy, Borderlands 2 it's the number one.
Yeah,
people don't talk about Borderlands 3 like they talk about Borderlands 2. There's like a tone in people's voice when Borderlands 2 comes out. It perks them up, you know, perks me up, you know. Holy fuck, this game's so good.
So how does it compare to that then? That's probably a good question to ask.
I remember my first time playing Borderlands 2, and I specifically remembered hating the very first level. I hated the snowy ice mountains and the slow pace that
when you
took
start
for you to get out of that area. Yeah, to like when you start. From then on, the rest of the game had a lot of. I would say the pace was fair. The pace wasn't like One Piece long. Playing through that game so many times, and as often as I did, I found that the game could have done better with cutting some stuff out, making some conversations shorter, or just making them so that they weren't like blocking off your character's accessibility altogether, you know? Sometimes the game will put you in forced conversations where it's like, hey, you really need to understand what this guy is doing before he can like move on or whatever. They really could have cut a lot of that out. 4 doesn't really do this. There is a lot of instances in 4 where you're, at least story-wise, like if I'm just talking about story missions, once you start getting like, I would say within the boundaries of like the enemy lines, whether that means like you're in their fortress or you're in one of like the neighboring like areas or whatever, if you have like an NPC with you, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be guarding them. That doesn't happen super often, but it does happen. These, I think, have been significantly improved from Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 3. Like, the AI, for whatever reason, sometimes just does not really want to register shit right away. So sometimes you're waiting for, like, maybe 10 or 15 seconds. One of the things that I guess the games from before didn't really take into account is how overpowered your own character can be. Usually when you get to these situations with NPCs, like in the enemy fortresses and stuff like that, there's going to be mobs, like waves coming after you and be like, oh, defend me while you kill off these guys and then we can talk later, right? And then we can move on to the next part, right? Depending on how good your setup is, you could probably clear that shit in like probably less than 20 to 30 seconds. I don't really want to say like that ruins anything because obviously your first time going through the game, you're going to have a much more easier time. The true value of the game happens to be in the replayability when they increase the difficulty and thus increase the loot quality. But aside from that, just going through the story in itself, this version of the game does a lot better of the AI responding to you when you just immediately kill these mobs, right? You're not going to be stuck somewhere waiting. The pace isn't going to be super slow. It's just kind of like, okay, hey, you killed everybody. Let's move on. That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's a really major improvement for me. Especially with the game that's really long, because again, it's going to take you a while. I would say don't even feel like you got to rush through it. One other thing that I'll say is the game doesn't punish you for leveling up either. And what I mean by that is it doesn't respond like in retaliation with like over difficulty when you get to a high level. With other looter shooters, obviously, like, they want you to progress with your actual loot itself. So when you get to, like, a part where you should be level 50, you should have level 50 items, right? Like, generally, like, 1 or 2 legendary or orange tier weapons and maybe a purple and, you know, generally some good shit, right?
Yep.
You could pretty much just be in the first area and grind here for a good minute, regardless of whatever items that you have. And the game is not going to throw all of this shit at you just to make you go back somewhere and upgrade. I'm able to pretty much take my level anywhere. The way that they made the game is now when you join other people's games, your enemies are just going to stick to your level. So on your view, you're still dealing with like level 30 enemies if you're level 30. The other person that you're playing, like the host player, you know, if they're a level lower than you, their game is going to reflect that level. So it doesn't interfere with each other. Okay. Loot doesn't interfere with each other either. So if you open a chest, I don't see what you get. I get my own stuff. The only time that we see each other's stuff is if we drop it for each other. So they've just completely removed shared loot pools. Now we have our own stuff.
That's good.
Generally, what I've seen is when somebody gets a legendary, somebody else also gets a legendary. It's just of a different variety. So at least when it comes to like chances for you to get stuff, everyone else gets the same chances as you. They just get different stuff, right? The RNG will roll different. It's been fun. I would definitely recommend it, Gerry. Like I said, get into it really pretty much whenever you want. There's no like time limit. One thing that they are, I won't know how legit this is, but they mentioned that for the DLC, they're going to release 2 more characters.
Oh, shit.
Like they did for Borderlands 2. Dude, that's fucking rad. Because the whole thing that they did with Borderlands 3 in the DLC, instead of giving us a new character, they gave us like an extra skill tree. That was just ass. I don't fucking need that. That's so stupid, dude. Yeah, so the game's Super Deluxe Edition includes a Vault Hunter pack containing 2 new playable Vault Hunters as the post-launch content. These characters are slated to be released as part of a separate story pack and are expected to be available for individual purchase as well. It's not going to be locked behind the expansion. There'll be individual purchases, just like in Borderlands 2. You could just buy Gage or you can buy Krieg. You don't need to buy the additional expansions. Yeah, man, get it. Want to have a good time?
Yeah, probably sometime soon, just to turn my brain off and shoot.
So I finished an anime that I did watch before and just didn't continue. You know, I was watching Gundam, and every time I scroll down to click on last watch, it's always stared at me in the face. I'm like, yeah, I'll finish it when I finish it. And since I finished Gundam, I'm like, well, what am I going to watch next? Let me take a break from Gundam, and all right, I'll go finish it. Finish the anime for Viral Hit. And you know what, man? I miss Viral Hit.
Yeah, me too. The anime was pretty good.
It ends pretty open-ended. It's like right after he fought...
his bully?
No, what's his name? It's the sumo guy.
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, Samdak. I didn't think it was going to end there. I thought it was going to end with... what's his name? The Taekwondo guy? Is it Taihun? Yeah.
Taihun.
Yeah, I thought they were going to end it with him. Because I'm like, yeah, that's a pretty good season finale. But then that was only like 8 episodes then. Yeah, they did like that prank channel, and then Samdak was the end. They didn't really tease too much for season 2, which is good because like it could stay as a one-off. There hasn't been any news for a season 2. I just hope we get a season 2 because, oh man, I'm just thinking about all the hype shit that's going to be coming up like after this.
Oh yeah. It went the way of lookism, as in like no other continuity. You know, as much as we want it. I doubt there'll be a season 2 or anything like that. But like you said, it was good as a one-off. We kind of get the gist of what's going on.
I didn't know this. There's English physical volumes for Viral Hit.
Oh, nice.
I wonder what names they gave him.
Well, it's still Hoban, I'm sure.
Yeah. If somebody picks their hands up or picks it up with their hands here, then maybe it'll get a season 2. I don't know. Copium.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when it came out, it's not like it really did any like big numbers. Like, not a lot of people were looking at it. But again, it's like it's the same problem with Lookism's season 1. Yeah, I mean, it's tame. Like, it's just like a slow startup before all the big shit happens with Hoban and his crew. That just sucks. If the anime started off like a little bit further in, with all the other crazy shit that happens, I was like, yeah, maybe we would have had, you know, more people looking at it. But yeah, I just miss Hoban's goofiness.
Yeah, me too. It had a good run for sure.
It's always when you catch him in between him gooning for what's your face?
For Bomey.
Fucking Bomey.
Yeah, and then like whenever he just like smells money. I think one of my favorite things about Hoban, by far the best thing I remember about Viral Hit, is he would know what the chat is saying without like looking at chat. Whenever somebody has a request for money, he was just immediately he immediately knew what it was and he was going to do it.
Yeah, so I still recommend the anime. I think the voice cast was pretty good. And you know what's weird too, like what you said, like I wonder what name they're gonna give him. I'm like, I mean, Hoban's pretty simple. You think they would just keep it with that, but whenever they would say Hoban's name and like I would read the subtitle, I was like, they didn't say Hoban, they said like something else.
Oh.
Yeah, you're just trying to hear wherever the name drops at that point. You'd be like, no, I didn't hear it. Didn't catch that time.
I Parry Everything.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I liked it. It was pretty good. I didn't like the English dub. You know, it was pretty. Yeah, this guy's just OP, but he doesn't know it. So in that way, he's just an idiot, like the biggest dumbass, you know. But he's still like fucking stupid powerful. Like he wanted to start off as an adventurer, like very young, because both his parents died. Like he lived outside of town, so he ended up going into town to learn from like these 6 academies who are run by like the strongest warriors in the city. It's called the Sovereign Six. Like there's a swordsman, a warrior, an archer, kind of like a thief class, almost kind of like a mage, and a cleric, like a healer class. So he's starting with the swordsman, he's trying to like learn a skill to become like an adventurer, but in order to become an adventurer, he has to know a skill, so he has to at least learn one, you know. He ends up going through every class, every academy and just learns like the most basic of basic skill, which like unfortunately isn't enough for him to actually earn the adventure class, because it's one of those where like you have to go to the guild and you have to like sign up, but in order to sign up you have to have some kind of skill in order to like be at least like a class C adventurer or whatever. He learns like the most basic of abilities, and it's not enough for him to actually be adventurer, but it's enough for him to take on like the lowest form of work, which is just labor. Fucking blue collar labor, helping people around in the city and shit. But it turns out that like he's like super resilient, and he learns the skills pretty late. Say like some of them he learns like quickly, or just some kind of special thing goes on where he has like in the magic course, right? He tries to learn at least one skill like called Tiny Flame, which he just like an ember forms where his finger is, and he tries so hard to do that for like a couple months, but the wizard tells him that he pretty much has no mana flowing through his body. So there's like this meditation sphere that he goes in for like a couple weeks, right? The thing is, like, if you're in there for more than like a couple days, you start going crazy, and they forgot about him. The wizard like fucking ran to the sphere, and this dude is just meditating, and he's like, wait, no, give me like a couple more days, I'm almost hit a breakthrough. So he does, right? And he ends up learning Tiny Flame, which is still like isn't enough for him to like move to actually be an adventurer. It turns out in that time he learns how to dual cast, which is like something you learn with years of like training and shit. So there's something special about this dude, right? He doesn't know that, but all he knows how to do is parry like anything and everything. And in that he saves like the princess of the city. His reward, he gets like this fucking great sword that's just like a giant piece of obsidian that's like unbreakable, right? With like, cause like the stronger things he parries, the more damage like this whatever sword he's using breaks. And this thing is just, they just made him more OP with this sword. It's pretty cool, you know. Like I thought it was gonna start with I thought it was just gonna be him going on adventures and stuff, like with what the fuck is that one? It's not Dungeon Meshi, but it's another one where this dude gets transported. It's a isekai, but his power is he can grocery shop and DoorDash shit from his world to
What?
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
I know that
yeah.
one.
So I thought it was gonna be like that, where he just takes on random quests and stuff. But no, it's like it does like stuff gradually does get worse. Like he ends up saving the day. But a lot of the times he thinks it's because of something else and not because of him. So in that way, he's kind of fucking stupid. Yeah, it was a fun time. Just one. I mean, I think it's just one season. Just the English dub could have been better because a lot of the times it felt flat. Season 2's announced. That's cool.
English dub is a tricky one these days, I think. Like, I know there's some good ones. Yeah, I don't know.
Gachiakuda. I don't know if I said that right.
You said it right.
Gachiakuda.
Are you watching the dub?
Yes. They only released new episodes in simul. I forgot what the dual
simulcast.
is called. Simulcast, thank you. It's fucking key, my guy. This is such a great show. I would highly recommend the both of you to pick this shit up. Kei Rana, she worked on Soul Eater and Fire Force.
No, she only worked on Fire Force.
Oh, she only worked on Fire Force.
Yeah, she was the assistant, and then she started Gachiakuda with a graffiti artist. Okubo basically said this is the spiritual successor to Soul Eater. Yeah, no, it's freaking awesome, man.
Yeah, he's really, really fond of her work. He likes it a lot. And I mean, it shows, dude, because a couple of these episodes, even just the first episode alone, I was like, dude, I'm hooked. We're all in on this. All the characters are really cool. The designs are really cool. The whole environment, like all of the cities, all the stuff is like all tagged up and shit, and all of that looks cool too.
Mm-hmm.
All the characters have some real nice personalities, man. Let me tell you, they're just right up my alley of like what I expect, like a crew of like people with powers to just go and it's so fucking cool, dude. It's got like your stereotypical like cool leader who's like super strong, like the solo kind of guy who's like usually venturing out on their own, and he's got like this parasol. I think he can do a couple of different things with it. I only saw him activate it one time, I think, but like he can use it as a gun, I think.
Yeah,
and it's just so fucking cool, dude. A lot of these cool. There's this one girl who has a pair of scissors.
Oh my god, she is mess me up, please. The Psycho Ward grippy sock girl, dude.
Oh my god, here's the gooning. Here's your 10-minute gooning section.
Okay, it's the blonde girl from Kill la Kill, the seamstress.
Oh, Harume Nui.
Yeah.
But less crazy, like way less crazy.
I'm not in it then.
She's got red hair though, Gerry.
Oh, okay, I'm in. I'm back in.
Yeah, she got the mascara on too. Yeah, she's cool. All the characters that I've seen so far are pretty cool. The dub is amazing though. I think that's what we were talking about in the first place.
Yes.
The dub is so good. Yeah, I would definitely recommend checking it out. And there's already a couple episodes. Like I think there's already like 8 episodes as of this recording.
I think I left off like in the 60s for the chapters.
Where is that at?
Oh, 46. I'm on chapter 46. That's where I left off. It's way ahead, dude. Like there's a lot more like stuff happening, and like we're getting some explanations about certain things.
I already have a few inklings about how the show is already kind of playing out. Like for example, when they refer to his gloves and how his power works. So I don't want to get too far ahead of myself there, but I'm looking forward to it. I think that it's definitely very fleshed out, and it pans well too. The pacing is really good. Yeah, man, I'm all into this. This really reminds me of like season 1 Vinland Saga. Like just the hype is so good. Every episode that rolls out, I'm just like more and more action. I'm so fucking here for this.
Yeah, no, I knew from the jump, like when the anime got announced, like this is it, man. This is gonna be the anime of the year. Because it's just fucking awesome, dude. Like, it looks like it came straight out of, 2008 era.
Between the three of us, I've been watching probably a lot more anime. This season, I've been watching Rising of the Shield Hero Season 4.
Ooh.
I've been watching... there is a new show that came out this season. I would also highly recommend... Everything I've been watching is in dub, by the way. This show that I'm recommending now, it's... I don't know if you heard about it, Denny, but it's pretty top. It's called Clevatus. Cletus?
Cletus? The fetus?
It's
Oh.
Clevatess.
Yeah, every time I log into Crunchyroll, this is on the front page.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this one because mostly it's like I don't really see it play too well, but like essentially the villain is the protagonist.
Cool.
And like the villain is like a primordial demon. Like he's just like his monologue at the very beginning. As the first episode is 45 minutes, which I was kind of here for when I looked at the runtime. All the other episodes are about like 22, 23 minutes, but this first one was 45 minutes. I was like, fuck it, I got time. You know, like, we can sit down and watch this. Like just the monologue that he has with himself in regards to like what the humans do and how the land is and like how they're basically just fucking with him, and he's just like, all right, I guess I'm just gonna fuck with you back. He just like within like the first 15-20 minutes, like you already see him just like already like do some apocalypse level shit and just like totally destroy and wipe out a whole like kingdom and everyone that lives there. So like you already have an idea of how overpowered these creatures are, or how overpowered things can be. But I think the main thing that that took me from this was like the plot already immediately like got into some sort of like weird like political espionage type shit. He finds the baby among the wreckage of like the kingdom that he just destroyed, and the baby that he just so happens to find is of royal descent. So it's literally the last, as apparently it was the last living member of the royal kingdom, which is necessary because the only things that can kill these primordial like level demons happen to be like these magic weapons that this little baby, as part of his lineage, has access to, like a magic forge. So immediately the gears begin turning in his head. These humans keep fucking with me every so couple of eons, you know, like every other couple hundred years, some asshole comes into my mountain, starts killing all of my beasts, and just decides that they need to kill me in order to see what's beyond this little world of theirs. What if I basically set up like he wants to set up, I think it was so ingenious of this because it's kind of scary how real this could also be, but he basically wanted to set up a government like within the kingdom with this new baby. So he's going to raise the baby, appoint it as the leader, and then basically subjugate all of the humans in this kingdom. So that way they don't have to just hunt his beasts or whatever anymore. Man, that's really fucking evil. This guy is playing shadow puppets. Like, we're literally getting into like whatever Metal Gear this is, where somebody's going to run the fucking world from like behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Like that was what my thought was for this. And that's just like in the first episode. He just immediately thinks of all this. And then the actual implementation of him basically having to carry this out is he doesn't know jack shit about being a human, having to raise a child or do anything like that. So he reanimates a hero's corpse who just so happens to be a female, like the only one. And then like from there, he's like on his quest to basically make sure that he can take care of this baby and raise it to the point where he can fulfill his plan. What I really like about this show, before I keep talking and ruining everything, is there's a lot of moments where like he and this hero that he reincarnated are dealing with humans, like a lot of human interaction. Like his very first instance is he meets bandits, which of all things is great. It's the very first impression you want to make is awesome. But obviously it doesn't end well. The first couple of episodes, like the first 3 or 4 episodes, is like you see him dealing with this group of bandits and having to find a way to feed this baby. It gets pretty gritty. I'm really not gonna lie. They don't really hold much back. One of the characters that pretty much joins this party is like I wouldn't really know what the term is back in the day, but I'm gonna use the word bar wench. Like
a bar maiden,
like just bear
like a server girl.
So she would work in the bar, get all the bandits drunk and shit, and then whenever they feel like they wanted to have a good time, they would take her around the back, and then he either beat her or fuck her or both. And it's not just implied, like they show you this.
Like a saloon maiden?
Not a saloon, because it's
fantasy, right?
It's an abandoned camp.
Oh,
It's a fantasy.
okay.
Yeah. It's in a bandit camp. The bar or whatever, like the bandits own this bar, and she just happens to be in the bar, like works in the bar. It's either that or be dead, I guess. She just happens to be the perfect person to help raise the baby because being the bar wench, as I'm going to refer to it, she obviously had a lot of encounters with men. The implications of how humans actually are and how shitty they can be. That's basically what he's learning about trying to live as a human and raise this baby, is learning all the different facets of humans and how they either work together or work apart. And he's just like, humans are so interesting. Also, humans are so fucking stupid. Like every day, every other episode is just like, you know, these humans are so easily manipulated, or these humans are so easily succumb to like whatever sort of power or greed or whatever. It's interesting, man. I really like it. I talk too much about it, but it's worth checking out. It is popular for a reason, I would say. And then yeah, Dan to Dan. Dan to Dan is really good. I have been watching it dubbed. I like it. There's not really too much to say about that other than spoiling it for you. So if you haven't already checked out Dan to Dan, you should definitely check it out.
Yeah, I'll get there.
Maybe. It's good. It feels like one of those Demon Slayer kind of things where I'm like, oh yeah, I'll check it out, but never do it. Maybe I'm a gatekeeper, because if something's not gatekept, I don't want to fucking watch it.
If it's not gatekept, you won't watch it. Did I understand you correctly? Is that like some reverse psychology shit on you right now? It's the only way that you can get interested in somebody is when somebody wants to take it away from you.
No, when it's not talked about enough, because in the zeitgeist, that Dan to Dan is all I fucking see mostly. You know, not a lot of people. Maybe in our realm, yeah, but in like the normie realm, not a lot of people are talking about One Piece, which is so fucking goated for me. Nobody's caught up. They just watch the anime. It's pretty fire, and nobody wants to believe it. But I don't know. I'll probably give it an episode or two, and then we'll see from there.
Danny, I don't know if you had seen this, but they are announcing a
Whoa, what?
A collection for Metabots. Yeah, there's a Metabots Classics.
Bro.
Meta-rot. That's fucking
in
sweet.
the other all the other languages, yeah, it's Meta-rots, because Metabots I think is just the English name. I think these are the Game Boy games that we're looking at here. These have to be the Game Boy Advance games.
Oh, Gerry, while we're talking Nintendo, dude, how do you feel about open world Metroid? Did you see the trailer?
No. It's direct?
Yeah, the direct that happened the other day, as of this recording. It starts off with Samus on a motorcycle, and you just drive around the desert, and then you hop into the level.
Is the motorcycle cool looking? Oh, it is. Oh my god.
And they announced 2 amiibos for the game, which I was like, oh damn, they're still doing amiibos. I forgot.
I don't give a fuck about that.
Yeah, but one of them was her on the motorcycle. I was like,
Okay, I can kind of give a fuck about that. Yeah, I mean, as long as we're on one planet, it should be fine. Anymore, I would think the game would have issues running. Damn, bro, we're really fucking Samus the biker, huh? I could mess with it. Honestly, I could mess with it. We're gonna have motorcycle fights. That's cool. She's gonna be doing combat on the bike. That's pretty cool.
I hope it's not like super hard handling and turning.
I just hope like the open world isn't empty.
Yeah,
and I hope it's not repetitive either, because it would be such a hassle just going back and forth. Like, I hope there's like a fast travel system the more you play and unlock stuff. The bike is cool and all. It's just if that's just gonna be the only mode of travel, I can probably live without it. You know, I'll try anything once.
Unless you hate it, then you don't have to finish it.
no, you have to finish it to justify your hate for it.
If I cared enough, I would keep track of how many games you didn't finish. Just so you know.
I finished all of them. The only ones I didn't finish were the ones I didn't play.
Yeah, I like games and I don't finish them.
I gave up platining Jedi Survivor. Black Myth Wukong, I just can't get it to run well on my PC. So if I get another graphics card, it might be a different story.
I really hope you start modding the fuck out of it before you finish.
No. I'm not modding shit. If anything, I'll mod Skyrim first. Do you know if 3 is like ported on the Switch for Metroid Prime?
Metroid Prime 3?
No, they just put out Metroid Prime 1 remake or remaster.
Yeah,
just the first one.
Yeah, because that's another one I gotta get my hands on. They still have a bunch on the list. They can transfer over. They can port over, because I haven't played 3 and I would like to play 3.
I wonder if it'll be received well, because like I like the idea of doing the bike in the open world, but it also kind of reminds me of like when Castlevania tried to do Lords of Shadow and like branch away from the actual like platforming Metroidvania thing, you know?
Yeah, because it went, what, 3D action?
Yeah, it went 3D action, so just very similar to like linear mission type gameplay, you know, basically level to level, right? Nothing was continuous.
It's interesting. Nintendo's going the open world route lately with all the big IPs.
I'll tell you what's been real quiet, and we can talking about all these handhelds. I have not heard a thing about Xbox's upcoming handheld coming out.
See,
I really hope that thing is not going to be dead in the water.
It will be dead in the water.
Oof.
Because the last time we talked about it, my question was, and it still is it only Xbox games or can you run Steam?
They call it the ROG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Xbox.
It's like an officially
Shout out to your
partnered thing. Yeah. Because my whole thing with this thing is that, okay, cool. Xbox wants a handheld because the Steam Deck, the Switch, there was that other company that made like a Steam Deck like what was it? Whatever they were.
Yes, you can play Steam games because it runs on Windows 11, allowing you to install the Steam application in your existing library of Steam.
Okay. Oh, from other stores. Oh, so Epic Game Store too.
Does that sell you?
Well, it doesn't sell me. I don't fucking care about Xbox. Sorry, Grant. But that's the best decision they could do is to make sure it plays Steam. Because if it didn't, and it was only Xbox games, like no one would buy it. There's like no point.
Yeah, I very much agree with that. I'm not a big fan of this D-pad, to be honest with you, but
Dude, that's like a freaking Mad Catz D-pad. I like how it says ROG like right in front of your face too.
Yeah, lets you know what you lets you know what you are.
really reminds me of like, I don't know if you remember seeing like any of those things where you used to go to the mall and stuff like that, but there'll be like dudes who are vending out like these controllers and shit like that. They'll have like a little thing that you can like plug into your computer or something, and it'll be like play 1,000 games.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just off the controller.
And it's just like 100 games were repeated like 500 times. Oh, the PlayStation controller. Oh man, look how bare bones it is. It's so peak. It's so simple. No analog.
If you gave this to somebody born after 2010 and they just touch it for the first time and they're gripping it like they want to use their thumbs, but now they have nowhere to use them.
There's only one way they can go.
I forget the guy's name, but there was a Street Fighter V player. That's the controller he would use as a PS1 controller.
Fucking peak.
Yeah, he had a PS1 to Xbox 360 adapter that he would use. Because, SF5 era, everyone was playing on Xboxes. Or SF5, excuse me, SF4. Yep, there he is.
It's fucking great.
Oh, he did play for Street Fighter V. Hell yeah.
What the pros use.
It looks like this guy is sponsored by Red Bull.
Yeah, he's pretty big in the FGC. I just don't remember his name.
Luffy.
His name is Oliver Luffy Hay.
French. He won 2014 EVO.
All right, guys. We're going to get out of here. And we appreciate you for sticking around listening to the episode. And if you have any questions, comments, you can send those to us. unversedpodcast@gmail.com. And we'll be sure to bring up anything you say on the show. We'll be back.
Yeah, next time we'll be talking about Mighty Beans.